There's never a dull moment in the world of basketball these days, is there? Just when you think you've seen it all, a new twist comes along that turns the entire narrative on its head.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And
God.
do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Let's talk about the whirlwind of drama and transformation that's shaking up both college and professional hoops. From a beleaguered college coach under investigation to an NBA free agency move so bold it's rewriting the playbook. And of course, a rookie sensation who's proving that sometimes the new kid on the block can change the entire game. It all began with some heavy news out of Loyola University. The school's basketball coach, Sheryl Swoopes, is currently under investigation, accused of mistreating her players, a situation that's spiraling out of control.
Loyola University basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling...
One player even came forward this morning to explain why she was ready to transfer, painting a picture of a locker room environment that simply wasn't working for her.
The environment she had created, I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel extremely small. It wasn't about working hard and having fun anymore, it was about surviving.
The stakes were raised when it turned out that the majority of the roster decided they didn't want to be part of that system any longer. In a dramatic twist, it wasn't just a case of a few players voicing their dissatisfaction. The coach was shown the door entirely. Now you might ask, what could possibly cause an entire team to make such a bold statement? Well, as it turns out, a significant part of the discontent can be linked to one figure, Caitlin Clark.
16 points and 4 assists.
And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball, and I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
For months, Coach Swoopes was on her high horse, confidently predicting that Indiana was a place no top talent would ever choose.
There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
She dismissed Clark as just another overhyped college star who would struggle to make an impact.
I think you can be the best player and not be the most dominant. Yeah. I don't have it in front of me, but like, I wasn't the leading scorer.
But reality had a different plan. While the drama was unfolding on the college side, the professional scene was getting its own makeover courtesy of the Indiana Fever. Imagine playing your favorite sports video game in franchise mode, and then pulling off a free agency move so daring that it sends shockwaves through the league. That's exactly what the Fever did.
Step back, going right, I may add.
The Sparks 0 for 9, and...
Instead of waiting for talent to trickle in, they went all in, meticulously stacking their roster with experienced champions, gritty competitors, and players who don't just bring skills to the court, they bring swagger. Let's break it down. The Fever didn't merely sign players, they built a veritable powerhouse. It all started with the announcement of Brianna Turner joining the ranks, a move that immediately set tongues wagging. But that was only the beginning. They then secured the services of Natasha Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion, whose defensive prowess is so legendary that she doesn't merely guard opponents, she practically erases them from the game. And then came Dewana Bonner, known for her incredible scoring ability and clutch performances that make her a nightmare matchup for any defender. Not to be outdone, the Fever added Sophie Cunningham, a dynamic wing player who's as fearless on defense as she is deadly from beyond the arc. Her trash talking on the court only adds to her mystique, igniting both her teammates and the crowd. And rounding out this all-star roster is Sydney Colson, a veteran with championship DNA who brings not only on-court expertise, but also a much-needed leadership quality in the locker room.
Spacing, switchable defense, being able to play different lineups for the Fever. Like, they might be able to go small and put her at the 5 without Aaliyah Boston out there and play a lot faster. They re-signed Kelsey Mitchell. They bring in Natasha Howard. They bring in Sophie Cunningham, who's going to probably be coming off the bench from the Phoenix Mercury, who's also just someone who can wait on the wing and catch Caitlin's passes and just knock them down. Like, they have loaded up around Caitlin. Drew, you say it's similar to Warriors. I'm looking at the Spurs and being like, listen, this second-year Wemby guy's ready.
With these moves, the Fever have turned a team once written off as an undesirable destination into a blue-chip franchise that top-tier players are now eager to join. It's a complete 180 from the old narrative that said, no one wants to play in Indiana. Now, the Fever's bold free agency strategy is being hailed as the biggest in WNBA history, a strategic takeover that signals Indiana isn't here just to compete. They're here to dominate.
Welcome back inside Fever Basketball. This is a moment that would have felt impossible just a couple of years ago. DeWanna Bonner sitting here in an Indiana Fever jersey, but a lot has changed.
But let's circle back to the linchpin of all this excitement, Caitlin Clark. Here's a rookie who didn't come into the league with a whisper. She arrived with a roar. Clark has shattered expectations right from day one, redefining what it means to be a rookie in the WNBA. Unlike the old guard, which believed that newcomers should take their time to earn respect and gradually build their reputation, Clark made it clear that she wasn't interested in waiting her turn. In a stunning display of skill, she's already leading the league in assists and has dropped 40-point games, as if that were a normal part of her routine.
It's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by Kelsey. Well, how about the knowledgeable fans in this building? They burst out of their seats like it was a game winner. And Caitlin Clark has a triple.
Her on-court magic isn't just about putting up impressive numbers. It's about the seismic shift she's causing off the court, too. With her arrival, the Indiana Fever have transformed from a team that was once seen as a dead zone for talent into a bona fide destination. Every game that features her becomes a must-watch event, drawing record ticket sales and shattering TV viewership numbers.
Clark is the GOAT. Just watching her passion in the game, the way she just plays with her team. I like when she just shoots from half court.
What's truly remarkable is how Clark's impact is turning the old narrative on its head. For years, critics had written off Indiana as a place where elite players wouldn't go, dismissing any talk of big signings as nothing more than hype. Now, with Clark's incredible performances and the Fever's audacious free agency moves, that outdated story has been completely rewritten. The rookie's leadership, competitive fire, and sheer talent are not only elevating her team, but are also forcing the entire league to reconsider what it means to be successful in today's WNBA. No conversation about this dramatic transformation would be complete without addressing the elephant in the room, the controversy involving WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes. Once revered for her groundbreaking contributions to the game, Swoopes found herself on the defensive when she made a series of ill-advised comments about Caitlin Clark. On her Queens of the Court podcast, Swoopes mistakenly claimed that Clark had played 5 seasons in college and had taken over 40 shots per game, completely misrepresenting the true story. In reality, Clark played 4 seasons and averaged around 22.7 shots per game, a testament to her efficient scoring and game management. The backlash was swift and severe. Not only did fans and analysts question her basketball acumen, but Swoopes also faced a far more public rebuke when she was conspicuously absent from a key broadcast. During a critical game where Clark was dismantling the opposition on live TV, Swoopes was pulled from commentary. Instead, the legendary Nancy Lieberman took her place, a move that left many wondering if Swoopes' absence was more than just a routine decision. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back on his criticism either. During one of his shows, he hinted that Swoopes' removal was no accident.
Despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself. She recently spoke on her podcast, Queens of the Court, and didn't mention the rookie when speaking of Indiana's rise in the standings,
suggesting that her personal feelings toward Clark might have clouded her professional judgment. The commentary from Smith hit hard, implying that Swoopes' long-standing opinions and the way she dismissed Clark's potential were now catching up with her in a very public and humiliating way.
One of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball, that's why. See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won 3 Olympic gold medals. You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
In the aftermath, Swoopes did try to mend fences. She took to social media and posted screenshots of text messages in which she apologized to Clark. Hey Caitlin, I wanted to personally reach out and say I made a mistake on what year this is for you. COVID has me all confused, one message read, along with heartfelt thanks for Clark's accomplishments. Clark, ever the gracious competitor, responded with gratitude for the apology. Yet, for many fans and critics, the damage had already been done. Swoopes' earlier comments and her sudden disappearance from the broadcast left a lasting impression that seemed to underline the clash between the old guard and the new era. What's really fascinating about all this is how it encapsulates a broader shift in the WNBA, and perhaps in sports in general.
She had 13 in the first half, but has picked up a triple-double here today.
For decades, there was an unspoken rule that rookies had to earn their stripes, to pay their dues, and to gradually work their way up before they could be recognized as superstars. It was a system built on the assumption that experience was the ultimate measure of greatness. But here comes Caitlin Clark, a player who walked into the league with the confidence and talent of a seasoned veteran. She didn't wait around for permission or for others to validate her abilities. She simply took control from day one.
Clark, pretty step back. Her defender pull count. Here comes Clark, bouncing to back.
This isn't just a personal triumph for Clark. It's a signal that the entire game is evolving. The WNBA, like many sports leagues today, is experiencing a generational shift. The old ways of doing things, where respect was earned slowly and hierarchies were firmly in place, are being challenged by a new wave of talent that isn't afraid to disrupt the status quo. And when a rookie can turn a franchise into the league's hottest destination, you know that something extraordinary is happening. The impact of this shift isn't limited to the court. It's also reshaping how the sport is viewed by fans, how games are broadcast, and even how teams approach building their rosters. The Indiana Fever, for example, have not only signed big names in free agency, but have also built a culture that attracts top-tier talent. And let's not forget the ripple effect this has on the league as a whole. With record-breaking viewership numbers and games turning into must-watch TV events, the WNBA is stepping into a new era of mainstream attention. Every performance by Caitlin Clark sends a message. The game is bigger, the stage is brighter, and the potential for transformation is enormous. It's as if the league is saying, we're not here to play by the old rules anymore. We're here to redefine what basketball can be. As we watch the Indiana Fever's remarkable turnaround, from a dismal start to a thrilling resurgence, the future of the WNBA looks more exciting than ever. The Fever's projected starting five for next season is being hailed as championship caliber. With a blend of youth and experience, dynamic shooters, tough defenders, and seasoned leaders, the team isn't just building for the future. They're poised to win right now. At the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, the face of this transformative era. Alongside her, players like Kelsey Mitchell, whose pure shooting and instant offense can change the course of any game, and veteran leaders like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard are carving out a new path in the league. Even players like Aaliyah Boston, a defensive powerhouse with future Hall of Fame potential, are part of this exciting mosaic. This isn't just a collection of talent. It's a blueprint for a new dynasty, a team that has flipped the entire narrative of the league on its head. But as we celebrate these bold moves and rising stars, it's also a reminder of the inevitable friction that comes with change. The fallout from Sheryl Swoopes' controversial remarks and her subsequent removal from the broadcast serves as a stark example of how the old guard sometimes struggles to adapt. While Swoopes once commanded respect as a trailblazer in the WNBA, her reluctance to embrace the new ways and her public missteps have left many questioning whether there's room for her in this rapidly evolving landscape. So what does all this mean for the future of basketball and more specifically the WNBA? It means we're witnessing a pivotal moment in sports history, the Indiana Fever's transformation, from a team dismissed by critics to one that's now the envy of the league, demonstrates the power of bold decisions and a forward-thinking culture. It shows that when you invest in talent and create an environment that players genuinely want to be part of, the results speak for themselves. In the end, whether you're cheering from the sidelines or watching the drama unfold on TV, it's hard not to get caught up in the energy, the passion, and the sheer excitement of it all. Here's to the future of the WNBA, where legends and rookies alike are challenging each other, rewriting the rules, and proving that sometimes the most unexpected moves can lead to the greatest victories.